Number 10, 115 feet of shark. Some people think that Australian naturalist David Stead's account from his book Sharks and Rays of the Australian Seas recalls a harrowing encounter with Meg. Stead claims that in 1981 he spoke with a number of crayfish fishermen who, after spotting a shark in their fishing grounds off Broughton Island, were so petrified that they refused to set foot on solid ground for several days. They claimed to have witnessed an enormous shark surface in the fishing ground's deep waters and took the pots and moorings with it. That would be no easy task given that the crayfish pots were almost 3 feet in diameter and heavy with catch. When the men were questioned by Stead and the neighborhood fisheries inspector, Mr. Patton, they all admitted the shark was enormous. One said its head alone was at least as long as the roof on the wharf shed at Nelson's Bay. Many claimed that it was about 115 feet long. Others said that the water appeared to boil near the surface. They were all certain that it was a shark and not a whale because of its pure white coloring. Number 9, immense shark. Author B.C. Cartmel discussed an alleged incident that allegedly occurred in the 1960s off the edge of Australia's Great Barrier Reef in his 1978 book, Let's Go Fossil Shark Tooth Hunting, which, by the way, has a pretty original title. Cartmel claims that the involved sailors at first shied away from discussing the affair for fear of ridicule. But over time, they acknowledged that the captain and crew were horrified to see a massive white shark gently swim by their stranded ship as their 85-foot ship had to be forced to weigh anchor for engine repairs. It was about the size of the boat. It was not a whale, everyone on board agreed. The Megster, maybe. Most likely not, but whatever the sailors witnessed that day serves as evidence of how interesting the water is. Number 8, the Black Demon. The gigantic black shark spotted off Mexico's Baja coast is thought to be the Black Demon of Cortez. According to some reports, the huge boy may possibly be the same size as the extinct Megalodon. Fisherman Eric Mack claims that during one supposed encounter, the Black Demon rocked his boat and protruded its long tail 5 feet above the surface. Of course, even if the Black Demon is real, that doesn't necessarily indicate it's a megalodon. It may just as easily be a whale shark that feeds on plankton, or even a big great white with melanism. Number 7, man-eating monsters. Zane Grey, a novelist and deep-sea angler, claimed to have interacted with a large shark, which some speculate might have been the Megalodon. Grey allegedly claimed to have seen one of the man-eating monsters of the South Pacific, a shark far larger than his 30 to 40 foot boat, according to the book Megalodon, Fact or Fiction by Rick Emmer. The shark was described as being yellow and green with a square head, immense pectoral fins, and a few white spots. To put it another way, not just a harmless white shark. Number 6, satellite shark. Recently, a satellite image has drawn a lot of interest on TikTok as users assert that the extinct Megalodon can be seen lurking beneath the ocean surface as a giant shadow. The TikTok from an account devoted to eerie and unnerving encounters states the video below is satellite imagery. When you close your eyes, it resembles a shark. Zooming in on the shadow, the film emphasizes its immensity by comparing it to a 40-foot yellow bus. Many viewers are persuaded by the image that the extinct species still exists. One comment asks, why would it be impossible for animals to adapt? Humans had to adapt to all world disasters repeatedly. Someone else added, they're definitely still alive. We have only explored between 5 and 10% of the ocean's depth. People keep saying we would have found a Meg by now, but do you have any idea how little of the ocean we have discovered? A responder informed the doubters. Number 5, the fossils we have let us reconstruct it. Megalodon is represented in the fossil record by teeth, vertebral centra, and coprolites. As with all sharks, the skeleton of Megalodon was formed of cartilage rather than bone. Consequently, most fossil specimens are poorly preserved. To support its large dentition, the jaws of Megalodon would have been more massive, stouter, and more strongly developed than those of the great white, which possess a comparatively gracile dentation. Its chondrocranium, the cartilaginous skull, would have had a blockier and more robust appearance than that of the great white. Its fins were proportional to its larger size. Number 4, we know where it used to live. Megalodon had a cosmopolitan distribution. Its fossils have been excavated from many parts of the world, including Europe, Africa, the Americas, and Australia. It most commonly occurred in subtropical to temperate latitudes. It has been found at latitudes up to 55 degrees north. Its inferred tolerated temperature range was 1 to 24 degrees Celsius. It arguably had the capacity to endure such low temperatures due to mesothermy, the physiological capability of large sharks to maintain a higher body temperature than the surrounding water by conserving metabolic heat. Megalodon inhabited a wide range of marine environments: shallow coastal waters, areas of coastal upwelling, swampy coastal lagoons, sandy littorals, and offshore deepwater environments, and exhibited a transient lifestyle. Number 3, we know what it used to eat. Though sharks are generally opportunistic feeders, Megalodon's great size, high-speed swimming capability, and powerful jaws, coupled with an impressive feeding apparatus, made it an apex predator capable of consuming a broad spectrum of animals. Otodus megalodon was probably one of the most powerful predators to have existed. A study focusing on calcium isotopes of extinct and extant elasmobranch sharks and rays revealed that Megalodon fed at a higher trophic level than the contemporaneous great white shark. Number 2, we know what it was competing against. Megalodon faced a highly competitive environment. Its position at the top of the food chain probably had a significant impact on the structuring of marine communities. Fossil evidence indicates a correlation between Megalodon and the emergence of diversification of cetaceans and other marine mammals. Juvenile Megalodon preferred habitats where small cetaceans were abundant, and adult Megalodon preferred habitats where large cetaceans were abundant. Number 1, we know how it might have gone extinct. The Earth experienced a number of changes during the time period Megalodon existed which affected marine life. Geological events changed currents and precipitation. Among these were the closure of the Central American Seaway and changes in the Tethys Ocean, contributing to the cooling of the oceans. The stalling of the Gulf Stream prevented nutrient-rich water from reaching major marine ecosystems, which may have negatively affected its food sources. The largest fluctuation of sea levels in the Cenozoic era occurred in the Pleistocene, between around 5 million to 12,000 years ago, due to the expansion of glaciers at the pole, which negatively impacted coastal environments and may have contributed to its extinction along with those of several other marine megafaunal species.